When it comes to wheeled tanks, many military enthusiasts probably first think of the Tsar tank from World War I. This tank, known as one of the top 10 craziest war weapons, had huge dimensions and an exaggerated design. However, there is not just one type of wheeled tank, as Germany also designed and built wheeled tanks during World War I, and this concept continued into World War II. Around the second half of 1916, influenced by the British tank, the German War Ministry also intended to design and build its own tank. One company, Hansa-Lloyd, was involved in tank design and construction. However, these companies lacked the necessary design experience at the time, and their designs were all different. Hansa-Lloyd proposed a large wheeled tank called the Treffas-Wagen. In February 1917, the Treffas-Wagen completed the construction of a prototype tank. The tank had a pair of huge front wheels with a diameter of about 3 meters, and in the middle of the wheels was an armored combat cockpit. This cockpit extended backwards, and a small-sized rear wheel was installed at the back. The armored combat cockpit used riveted steel armor protection, and its engine allowed the tank to travel at a maximum speed of 10 km per hour. The cockpit could accommodate 4 crew members: the commander, driver, gunner, and loader. Initially, it was planned to install 2 anti-tank rifles and 2 machine guns inside the tank. The anti-tank rifles were said to possibly be equipped with the later Mauser 1918, but in the initial tests, it seemed that a 20 mm caliber cannon was installed. Regardless of whether it was the M1918 or the 20 mm caliber cannon, both could pose a certain threat to early tanks. However, the performance in the tests was unsatisfactory. It was said that the recoil after firing was too strong, causing the gunner to experience severe pain in the head and shoulders after firing only a few shots. According to this account, it can be inferred that the weapon was not installed on a dedicated weapon mount. Off-road mobility was also quite poor, as the tank's center of gravity was too far forward and it was prone to tipping over when crossing ditches, as evidenced by an incident during a test in the summer of 1917. After the initial tests, the weapon was removed, but another plan to install a 57 mm cannon was proposed. This plan was not realized. Upon comparison, the Treffas-Wagen wheeled tank did not have any advantages over the A7V tank. It was deemed unsuitable for combat by the military and was thus abandoned. But do you think the German wheeled tank ended there? Obviously not. In 1939, this type of 3-wheeled tank was revisited. Considering the need to fight the Soviet Army in Eastern Europe, where road infrastructure was poor, it was necessary to enhance the vehicle's off-road capability. Wheeled tanks could have their huge wheels designed as hollow, even obtaining amphibious capabilities, making it easy to traverse special terrains such as swamps. Following the concept of the wheeled tank from World War I, the Lauster Wargel LW-2 was designed in 1939. It was not directly related to the Treffas-Wagen, but the design concept was similar. The size of the LW-2 was smaller, more like a wheeled tractor. Testing in swampy areas proved its good off-road capability and traction, making it suitable for use as an engineering vehicle. After the defeat in the Winter Campaign of 1942, the German military began to pay attention to some tractor plans. They planned to design and build some all-terrain vehicles for armored recovery and other work. According to the related plans, the LW-3, LW-5, LW-6, and other models were subsequently produced. Among them, the LW-3 and LW-7 were motorcycles with front and rear dual wheels, while the LW-5 was a large 4-wheel rescue vehicle. The LW-5, relatively speaking, was a vehicle with promising development prospects. Its traction force of 53 tons could rescue main battle tanks like the Panther, making it one of the most powerful rescue vehicles in the hands of the German army at the time. However, the entire series did not enter large-scale service for various reasons. The LW-7 received an order of 14 vehicles from the Air Force, intended for use as aircraft towing vehicles, but this order was not completed by the end of World War II.